Imagine getting a significant raise on a Thursday. By the following Thursday, a new SUV sits in the driveway with dealer plates. You're eyeing an apartment with a kitchen island you'll never use, and that heavy watch on your wrist keeps catching your eye. But 6 months later, you're staring at the same depressing checking account balance you had before the raise. The anxiety feels identical. You just have nicer wallpaper. Most people respond to new income by financing upgrades other people can see. We buy the car and the zip code to signal success, but those visible upgrades are almost always the ones that keep you broke. Your brain is actually wired to sabotage these purchases. Through hedonic adaptation, that new car smell lasts about 3 weeks before it becomes just the car. The bigger apartment feels enormous until the day it simply feels normal, which arrives much faster than you'd expect. Then the Diderot Effect takes over. You buy a premium couch, which suddenly makes the old rug look shabby. So you replace the rug, and now the curtains look wrong. One visible upgrade creates a cascade of expenses as you try to make the rest of your life match the new image. This graph illustrates the mathematical reality of that trap. On path A, your income rises, but your fixed expenses climb at the exact same rate to fund a visible lifestyle, leaving your net worth flat. Path B shows what happens when income rises while expenses stay steady. Your net worth begins to curve exponentially upward. Breaking this cycle requires moving your spending away from status symbols and into foundational infrastructure that no one else can see. True financial mobility comes down to a specific trade-off. You are sacrificing the immediate hit of social validation at a dealership to buy yourself long-term control over your time and your stress levels. The first category of invisible upgrades involves your physical infrastructure, specifically the mattress you sleep on and the ergonomics of your workspace. A $1,000 mattress lasts about 10 years. That breaks down to 27 cents a night for a third of your life. Similarly, a $400 chair costs $40 a year over a decade, which is less than the price of a single physical therapy session to fix the back pain caused by a cheap setup. The difficulty is that these are high-cost preventative assets that no one will ever compliment. You are choosing a body that doesn't hurt over an object people might admire. The second category moves into high-leverage financials, starting with the baseline interest rate on your cash. Traditional big banks often pay 1/3 of 1% in interest. In a high-yield savings account paying 4%, the same $20,000 earns $800 a year instead of $76. You get the same federal insurance and the same access to your money. You just stop letting the bank profit off your inertia. Leaving your cash in a near-zero account essentially functions as a slow, polite way of paying the bank for the privilege of holding your money. A 10-minute transfer fixes this permanently. Then there is the 401k employer match. Roughly 1 in 4 workers leave this on the table, missing out on an average of $1,300 every single year. If your company matches dollar for dollar, you put in $1 and instantly have 2. No stock kip or crypto coin reliably doubles your money the second you touch it. Yet people skip this because the paperwork feels like a chore. You should also look at the high deductible health plan HSA, or health savings account, which is often the most misunderstood tool in the tax code. This chart shows the HSA's triple tax advantage. Money goes in tax-free, grows tax-free, and comes out tax-free for medical costs. By paying bills out of pocket and saving receipts, you let that money grow for decades, reimbursing yourself years later completely tax-free. These physical and financial tools require upfront capital and the discipline to navigate some boring paperwork, but they quietly build an advantage that compounds in the background while you focus on other things. The third category is buying back your time. Imagine you earn $50 an hour after taxes, but you spend 5 hours every weekend on cleaning and errands you genuinely hate. This scale shows the math for smart outsourcing. If paying someone to clean costs $120 to save you 3 hours of work, you've essentially bought a chunk of your weekend back for less than your time is worth to you. This only works if you use that freed up time for high-value rest, productive earning, or being with people you love. If you outsource the cleaning only to spend those same hours doom scrolling, you've simply increased your expenses for zero return. The final category is defensive assets, which protect the earning power you've built. Statistically, 1 in 4 20-year-olds will face a disabling event before they retire. Despite this, over half of working households have zero disability coverage. Your ability to earn money over the next 30 years is a multi-million-dollar asset. Most people happily insure the phone in their pocket, but leave the hands that pay for that phone completely unprotected. Long-term disability coverage secures that asset for about the price of a streaming service. You also need to look at your credit score. Rather than a vague grade, your score functions as a rigid price tag on your future. On a $300,000 mortgage, the gap between a mediocre score and an excellent one can cost you $150 a month in extra interest. Over 30 years, that mediocre number cost you an extra $56,000, literally the price of a luxury car paid to a bank for no reason. These defenses and time savers offer zero social validation, but they ensure that a surprise medical bill or a blown transmission remains a mildly irritating Tuesday instead of a financial catastrophe. Every raise presents a choice. You can finance depreciating upgrades that everyone notices, or you can build compounding ones that no one sees. This capital allocation matrix identifies your next move. Low net worth, prioritize automated defaults. Route paychecks to a high-yield fund and secure the 401k match. High income, no time, outsource chores and upgrade your workspace. Basics covered, exploit the HSA loophole and secure disability insurance. By the end of a year, the version of you who follows this list will look identical to everyone else on the street. Your driveway will look exactly the same, and that watch on your wrist won't be any shiny yen. But you'll be tens of thousands of dollars ahead of the version of yourself that bought the SUV. You will be the person who sleeps through the night at 2 a.m. because the emergencies that used to require desperate math are now handled automatically by your infrastructure. Opt out of the game of financing things for other people to notice. Pick one of these invisible upgrades today and start quietly building the machine that compounds in your favor.